Morning everyone, welcome to today's assembly about Sangha Day, which is going to be celebrated tomorrow by Buddhists worldwide. Now before we actually look at what Sangha Day is, let's remind ourselves about Buddhism. Buddhism is the world's fourth largest religion and it has over 520 million followers. Buddhists follow the teachings of a man who's called Siddhartha Gautama. Now he became known as the Buddha, and the Buddha means enlightened. We will come on to pictures of the Buddha who you may recognize. And Sangha Day is considered the second most important Buddhist festival. Now it is a celebration in the honor of the Sangha. Now the Sangha is a name given to the Buddhist community. So it is a name given to all those who follow Buddhism. For a lot of people, this is considered to be monks and nuns. Now, what is Sangha Day? Now, Sangha Day celebrates the moment when 1,250 monks, or known as arahants, came together to hear the Buddha preach, and they went to a temple at Veluvana Vihara. Now, these monks were enlightened. What that means is they were actually trained by the Buddha and they were given teachings by the Buddha himself. Now, after they became enlightened, they all came together on this one day. But the monks did not plan to come together all at once, and the Buddha wasn't expecting them. But at that time, they all felt the need to go and hear the Buddha speak at the exact same time. So at that gathering, when over 1,250 monks came to hear the Buddha gave his very first speech, or he recited the Pitamaka, which are the rules and regulations of the monastic order. Now I'll explain what that means. The monastic order is a religious way of life where you devote yourself to your spiritual work. Now, a summary of the teachings and what spiritual work means is three main things. They are that you should not do any evil, you should do good, and you should purify the mind. So what this means is, for those who follow Buddhism and the Buddhist way of life, these are the three main principal teachings that they should follow. Do not do any evil. This means you're not going to do any harm. This means you're not going to do anything that could cause people to be upset, people to be hurt, that may disadvantage other people or animals. Doing good means that your actions are going to be done in a positive way. You're going to do things which are going to help yourself or help other people, help animals, help those around you. You're going to do things which will make a positive impact. And purifying the mind, what this means is that by becoming enlightened, you have control of your mind. So purifying the mind means actually being in control and knowing what you are doing. Knowing that you can do certain things and that you're not going to be easily influenced or do certain things on impulse because you just feel like doing it without thinking of the consequences. It means that you really do think about your actions and you are in control of your own body and your own mind. And these are the three main teachings the Buddha gave during his first speech. And these are the same three main teachings that Buddhists today still use and still follow. So Sangha Day is really important because it's the first time he gave these teachings to the monks, which is now being followed through and is a very key component when following Buddhism. So how do people celebrate Sangha Day? Now, people celebrate Sangha Day because it reminds them of the teachings of the Buddha. It reminds them that this is the first time, or this moment in history was the first time the Buddha shared his beliefs and shared his teachings, which the Buddhists and those who follow Buddhism still use today. Now, Sangha is the term used for the Buddhist spiritual community. So on this day, they celebrate the idea of creating a spiritual community, being with each other, being with other people who believe the same things and follow the same things. Now, the Sangha is really precious in Buddhism, as without those in the community, they would find it hard to look up to or share aspirations with, and it would be a lot more challenging to live the spiritual life. So the Sangha, the community, is very important because it allows them to be together, to collaborate together, to work with each other, to support each other. And following those three main teachings and living a spiritual life could be a lot harder when doing it on your own without support. So Sangha Day is really important because it allows the Buddhist community to come together and help each other, work with each other. Now, during this day, it can be a traditional time for Buddhists to exchange gifts. But celebrations can vary depending on where you are. For a lot, this could be chanting. A lot of meditation happens on this day where they meditate and they try to purify and control their mind. So then they are a lot more able to do good and not do evil. They might light oil lamps and they might reaffirm their commitment to the Buddhist practice. And what that means is that remind themselves about Buddhism and the key teachings of Buddhism and try to make sure that they remember the key teachings and they remember actually what they should be doing in their life in order to live a spiritual life. Now, after this assembly, I would like you to do an activity. Now, in a moment, we're going to practice some meditation, which is what we'll be doing first. But after the assembly, I want you to think, can you think of any examples where you can not do evil? Think of examples of how you can do good. Can you think of examples of how you can control and purify the mind? So after this assembly, have a moment. Can you think of any rules that you can use or you can follow which will allow you to do good, which would mean that you do not do any evil, that way you control the mind? Can you think of any examples of what doing good might actually look like? How you may show that you're not doing any evil? Maybe you want to do this in form as a poster. You can explain it in writing. You can explain it to other people in your household. But after this assembly, and after you had a moment to meditate, I want you to think of these different examples. What can you think of? Now, before we go into that, we're just going to end this assembly on meditation. Now, we've understood why Buddhists celebrate Sangha Day. It's a really important celebration and festival for them, which reminds them of the key teachings of the Buddha. And one of the key things they do, as we already discussed, is meditate. Now, this is something that Buddhists do not just during this festival, but they do throughout. And I know it's something we do something similar in school during mindfulness about how we can relax and control our mind. Now, as I said, they spend a lot of time in meditation, and the reason they do it is that process of emptying your mind of thoughts, ideas, and pictures, and being in control of your own mind. Now, what Buddhists do when they meditate, they sometimes or normally they chant Om, as they believe this has a really calming effect on the body. But it also helps you to connect to everything in the world and the universe. So for the next minute, we want to see if we can build on our mindfulness knowledge that we already do in school and see if we can appreciate and think about how the Buddhists meditate. So for the next minute or so, I want you to try and empty your mind so it's completely quiet and still. Do not think about anything. There will be some music playing and a picture playing. In that music, you will hear sometimes this chant of And I want you to close your eyes and really think about emptying your mind, keeping quiet and keeping still. So find a really nice, comfortable position, whether that's on the floor, on the sofa, on a chair. Try and go somewhere quiet and then listen to the music, close your eyes, and have a think about emptying it so you are in complete control. You might find this hard to do, but every time you do it, it gets easier with practice. We do a lot of this in school with mindfulness, so hopefully you shouldn't find it too bad. After a minute or so, the music will end and it will be the end of the assembly. And after the assembly, I would like you to have a go and see if you can come up with those examples of do not do evil, do good, and purify the mind. Okay. Once you're ready, let's go meditate.